All right, I think we can start. Yeah. So I think what we discussed last, I think Saturday. So we discussed about jobs, upstream, downstream, and few options inside it. Today we'll discuss about the configuration of Jenkins, not the jobs, because before we move to job and other things, we need to know about the configuration of Jenkins. So if we have admin access by default, let's say you have installed Jenkins, if you have admin access, you can able to see this option, manage Jenkins. Just click on it. You'll see lots of things. Obviously, you know this. If you don't have admin access, you cannot see that. It depends on your role, maybe, or who maintaining the Jenkins and everything. Some organizations, um, it's like individual. I mean, we'll install it, we'll manage by ourselves. Some or in some organizations, it's different. I mean, like someone will maintain it. We'll just use it. If you want, some access, they'll give. You have to raise a request. They'll give it to you. So usually it works like that. But yeah, let's for now, let's say you have access. So this is the first configuration we see system. Earlier we used to call no, it used to call configure system. Now just system. So what's inside this is the global configuration of Jenkins. The Jenkins configuration will be present starting from Jenkins home directory. See, of course, you can change this. I'll tell later how to change this. But for now, default is varlib Jenkins. Varlib Jenkins. So here what happens is like whatever you store, I mean, right? I told you, right? Whatever you create jobs or install some plugins or create some users or let's say anything, anything what you did will be stored in varlib Jenkins. If you delete this, it means all your Jenkins data is gone. So this has to be make sure no one deletes or no one touches it. Of course, we'll take a backups and everything with this. We'll see it, but defaultly this is the one. Next thing, of course, some message. Obviously, you can see here. This message will be displayed here. Of course, you can just give whatever you want. I mean, that's nothing really. And this is some Maven configuration actually. So let's say Mavens expect some parameters to pass. Of course, we haven't passed anything because we don't need it. But let's say developer came and all, see whatever he told, there will be some default configuration to all the jobs. To all the jobs, there will be one default configuration. So at the time, we'll come here with Maven ops, Maven ops, and we'll pass here. So what happens is I told you this is the global configuration. Whatever you apply here, it will be applied to all the jobs. So then only we'll do it. Let's say this Maven, let's say we're passing something. As an example, I'm just giving something. Something it is this is not correct, but I'm just giving. Let's say a is equal to 10. It means this a is equal to 10 will be passed to all the Maven projects. They can use it if they want. If they don't want, they skip it like that. But we are just passing it globally because any job can use it in the Jenkins. That's why any job. That's why we pass it like here. Instead of passing within the job for each and everything, so global ops is something we pass and any job, any Maven job, I mean, can use it. That's why it's called Maven ops. Oh, ops means options, obviously. But yeah, only if required, obviously. If you don't want it, just ignore it. Or if you want to pass at a job level, which is completely fine. So no need to do anything here. Just ignore it. And next it says, of course, local M2 repository is the .m2 folder which is pointing to which is default. Leave it as it is. Next thing is this number of executors. What does executors means? So in the see here, if you see something, build executor status 0 of 2 busy something. What does that mean? Executors is number of builds to run at a time. Executors nothing but builds. Number of executors here means how many builds we run at a time. By default, the number says 2. It means, so at the time, let's say you have 100 jobs, does not matter, or 1000 jobs, but you can only run 2 jobs at a time because that's the limitation here. It will allow only 2. You can see here 0 of 2. Let's say I have 3 jobs, right? If I run 3 jobs at the same time, one will be in a waiting, one will be in queue because the limit is 2. So two jobs can start at a time, but the third one will be in a queue because the limit is 2. You can change the limit to whatever you want. Let's say 20, change it. Of course, let's save it. Let's refresh this. See, 0 of 20. It means 20 can run at a time now. Like that. 20 can run at a time. Depends on your use case. You can keep 100 also if your system can handle that. If your Jenkins server can handle that. Because the more you run the jobs, the more resources it will be used, right? CPU, memory, and everything. So you have to make sure system can handle it. Got it? So that's how the executors works. Sorry. Next thing is what else next? Labels. Labels is something like you give some label to Jenkins, some like alternative name. Because if you see, there is no name for Jenkins server so far. There is no name. We just calling it Jenkins server. That's because Jenkins is installed, but there is no name for that. There is no name. By default, we call it a master. By default, we call it controller. But there is no specific name. You can just give name if you want. But yeah, if you don't want it, you can just ignore it. That is also fine. Maybe let's say I'll give as main. It means this is the main Jenkins server. That's the thing. That's whatever you want. You can give anything. There is nothing wrong. And next, there is something called usage. Usage is like how you want to use this Jenkins node. There are two options. Use this node as much as possible. It means whenever what we are saying here is what we're trying to say here is we have, let's say I ran a job where it should run. What do you mean where? It will run in Jenkins, right? Obviously, Jenkins server only. Jenkins have a concept called nodes configuration where it's we can set up like one Jenkins server with multiple nodes. That is a separate concept. So this usage also will be, you'll understand it when the concept is done. But yeah, what happens is like you decide, let's say you have multiple servers, so you will decide where it has to run. That we'll see like maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow once the topic comes. But for now, usage it means just remember. Of course, I'll explain it later. Once major manage nodes comes. But for now, usage will decide how where you want to run your job or how you want to use this node. So let's keep it like that for now. And of course, quiet period, you have already seen it. 5 seconds quiet period is there. It means 5 seconds it will wait. Let's say if you click on build multiple times, it won't run immediately. It will just wait for 5 seconds. Just give a break time, something kind of thing, and of course it will and start it. You can increase it if you want or decrease it or remove it, but it depends. Got it? That's about quiet period, and of course SCM checkout retry count. SCM checkout means of course git checkout, right? So if git checkout fails, do I need to retry? If you want, keep it the number, how many times you want to retry. If you don't want, just leave it 0, which is fine. Got it? And there is one more thing called Jenkins URL. This is Jenkins URL, right? Which we are trying to access. Sorry, which we are trying to access. So if you have a domain name, let's say they give you domain name something Jenkins dot something dot com something whatever based on your organization name. You can update it here. So Jenkins will read that URL and it will, use that. You can also use that URL to log in. Because currently you are accessing with IP. We don't do that generally. In organizations, we'll have a domain name for Jenkins. They'll create it, or if you are the, you know owner, I mean, you have to create it, obviously. But yeah, if your Jenkins URL is wrong, by default it will take the IP address, whatever the IP address your system has. So by default it will take that. If you want to change it, you can change it here. That is completely fine. Got it? That's about next we have system admin email address. So this, there is nothing here actually. What happens is, Jenkins will send emails. We can send emails to users from Jenkins, through Jenkins actually. Like, let's say the job is success, we'll send an email. The job is failure, we can able to send an email, right? We have to know whether it is failure or success, correct? That's the we need to know the status of that, so that we'll be sending email address. So of course there will be lots of configuration, we'll do that later. It's again a separate topic. But what is the from address? To address we'll give it, okay, send to this guy, send to this guy, something like that. But what is the from address? This is the way you have to give that. From address you have to give. So using this address, it will send an email. It will send an email. Of course, we don't have anything as of now. Let's leave it as it is. Got it? And next we have something called global properties. Global properties is something like, again, earlier we have seen Maven global Maven ops, right? Options where we can able to set global, some parameters. Every job, every Maven job can use. Similar way here, not this is global properties means we can set some variables, see, or something called tool location we'll see in a few minutes. But variables, let's say, we can set these variables which will be applied to overall Jenkins server, where we can able to use in every job. It's similar to what I told, a is equal to 10, let's say, environment variables. Add what is the key and value. Key and value we have to use, right? A is equal to 10. This key a, I mean the variable a, we can able to use it in every job because we are defining it globally. Got it? That's about global properties. We can able to use in every job. Of course, we can do it within each individual job also, as I mentioned, but as well as here like this also for globally. Got it? That's about this one. Of course, I don't need this one. Let's remove it. And next thing, Sonar Cube. This is where we need to integrate Sonar Cube server with Jenkins server. So what is the Sonar Cube URL? So simple. Add Sonar Cube. Just click on Add Sonar Cube. Give some name, maybe Sonar underscore server. What is the Sonar URL? I think it's localhost, right? Say, because we are running in the same machine. Let's copy this. Change the port number to 9000, obviously. And of course, we need to add a token here, user token, because when you integrate here, it's not running. So let me run it. So what happens is like when you integrate Sonar Cube into Jenkins, Jenkins try to talk to that one. It will try to talk to that. So then what happens is like it needs authentication, right, to connect. So we cannot add password, which is not possible. So that's why we'll add a token. Yeah. Slash Sonar Cube and next start. It'll take a minute. Just need to create. Oh, I think I have a token already. Let me in Sonar Scanner. I have a token. Oh yeah, this is the token, right? I created last time. I can use this. Yeah, Sonar started. I can add this token here. So there is nothing token, right? Click on add Jenkins. So here credentials again it will be a different section. Select here secret text. Just add it. Sonar description also Sonar I'll give. So this will go to credentials. We can see it. I'll tell you. And that's it. Sonar cube is added. You select the token here. That's it. Of course, once we save it, we'll try to talk to that. Let's go back. Configure system. Where is that? Yeah, Sonar cube. So this is how we integrate Sonar cube server into Jenkins. By default, this option used to be in a different setting earlier, but now it came to global configuration system. Is got it? So Sonar will, sorry, Jenkins will try to connect to this URL. Of course, it's in the same machine, and it will use this token to authenticate. Got it? You can add another Sonar server also. If you have, let's say, two Sonar Cube servers, maybe for different teams like that, you can add it. But just give the name different. That's it. How to use it, we'll see maybe later, not now. But just give the different names. Let's say Sonar server you already here. Maybe give Sonar Cube and the URL whatever token whatever it is there. So just give different name because if you give one name, it does not understand what it is. Got it? All right. Next, what else? Hmm, blah blah blah. These are all fine. Times these are all fine. Next, we have GitHub. GitHub. Of course, we don't need to integrate GitHub. I mean directly like this because you know why we have like we are using public accounts. Means we have on github.com only we are using, which is public, and within that we'll create our I mean not we usually someone else they'll create our organization and they'll create repositories and everything. They'll give us as access. But sometimes organizations will buy GitHub Enterprise version also there. I mean GitHub Enterprise Pro kind of thing. Let's say they'll buy it and they'll use it separately without not github.com. There will be a different domain. So at that time you can just integrate your GitHub there. What is the name? So API URL. How do I know this? By default, this is the API URL of GitHub. See, it will open like this. If you buy GitHub Enterprise version, see, let's say Sonar also Enterprise user, it means there'll be a different options. There'll be more features. Jenkins also Enterprise version is there. There'll be more. It's a paid version to be honest. So we have to pay for it. That API URL will be different. And of course, credentials. You can able to add your credentials to your not yours. Generally, will be using someone else. I mean, they'll create some credentials and give it to you if they are the responsible. So it is like GitHub server used to connect to your private GitHub enterprise accounts. But we are using github.com only, which is public. I mean, everyone can create accounts and use it. So no need of adding this at all. Got it? Because it will automatically connect. And if you click on advanced, you will see hook URL. Click on hook URL, so you will see this is the default hook URL we have, right? Where we'll add it in Jenkins, sorry, in GitHub. You want to change the URL, you can change it. No problem. You can use that everywhere, wherever you're using it. In GitHub, we have added webhooks, right? You remember. If you don't want to change it, just ignore it, uncheck it. That's it. That's it. You can leave it. And what else? These are all fine. These are all fine. No need. Extended email notification. This is where we use, We define mail configuration. As I told you, we want to send mails whenever there is a success or whenever there is a failure. Correct? How do we send it? We configure it here. The SMTP server will be there. SMTP server means outgoing server. Let's take Gmail or any mail, Outlook or something. What happens is, there will be two servers, IMAP and SMTP. IMAP and SMTP. Incoming server and outgoing server. If you want to receive a mail, let's say in Gmail you're using obviously, right? If you want to receive a mail, you need IMAP server. Of course, you don't need it because Gmail's already configured with it. If you want to send mail, SMTP server is required. Of course, again, Gmail, by default, every mail comes with these two things. They will configure it. You don't need to do anything. But here, you are sending mail through a third-party tool, right? Not from a Gmail directly. At the time, you have to use Gmail address, Gmail SMTP details. By default, you'll get in Google itself. See, smtp.gmail.com, the port number they gave. See, it's every mail has this. Outlook also, let's say. See, outlook.com, smtpmail.com. It is by default, it will be available. Of course, in organizations, we don't use Gmail, right? Maybe we'll use Outlook. We'll try with Outlook to send mails and everything. Not now. Again, I told you it's a separate topic we need to discuss. Maybe tomorrow. So we'll pass all the SMTP server details. Remember, SMTP server, simple mail transfer protocol to send the emails from your account to someone else. IMAP will be there. IMAP. IMAP is to receive the email, see, to retrieve, to receive the emails. Got it? So of course we don't care about IMAP. We just need a SMTP server details. That's it. And the port number, blah blah blah. We'll discuss this again because it's a separate topic we need to discuss. Same thing, email notification. Email notification also similar, sending emails. But the only difference is email notification is the default one, but it will come with Jenkins. But what is this then? This extended SMTP, extended email notification will come with a plugin. By default, the plugin is installed when you install Jenkins. So this option came after installing that. Got it? So these topics we'll need to discuss separately because we need to configure it, right? So we will be discussing that tomorrow. But for now, yeah, it's fine. Let's save it. That is a global configuration of Jenkins. Global configuration of Jenkins, how we use it. Got it? So what's next? Next thing is tools. Tools earlier were it was like a global tool configuration. They changed to tools in newer versions. What does it mean is, see, as I told you, Jenkins can do anything. All you have to do is tell what to do and how to do it. That's it. If you let's say you want to build Maven or test with SonarQube, it can do it. But you have to tell how to do it. That's it, and it will take care of it. Got it? So this global tool configuration is where we do that. So if you want to install, so if you want to run SonarQube or analysis with Jenkins, or if you want to build Maven, you have to integrate those tools into Jenkins. Correct? Of course, we already integrated Sonar, right? If you remember in configure system, we just integrated it. Earlier, that option used to come here, but it was moved there. So similar way, we have to integrate other tools. Let's say you want to integrate Git, see, but how you integrate? I don't understand how you do that integration. What does it mean? How you do that is there will be executable file for everything, right? Let's say Maven dot something will be their file or Sonar dot something will be their file. So executable file we call it. So it will be available for everything. Let's say for Git, We can figure out by which git. See, this is the executable file. It means when you execute some git command, this file will get executed, as I told you already in Linux. So you just have to paste it here, and that's it. So when you save it, this is integrated. Means Jenkins uses this path to execute any git commands, and the name is for integration is default. Okay, let's leave it as default because don't change it. Jenkins uses git by default. This one. Let's say you don't want it. Let's say the git is not present in your Jenkins server. I mean the machine wherever you install. There is an option called install automatically. It will install it. All you have to do is select this option and click on add installer. See, you can execute some command. So what happens? You can execute some command here. Let's say apt install git. It will do it. Or let's say extract tar file. You have installed, you have downloaded the tar file. Give the path, it will extract it. That is also there. Run bash command is for Windows. Of course, we have same thing, but it will Windows command we have to give, which we don't have. So you don't need to install manually also, but don't do install automatically. Mostly just install by yourself manually and add it here because install automatically will go to different paths. You have to figure it out everything, which will be difficult. Got it? So that's how you integrate any tool, let's say. So let's say you want integrate Maven. See the last add Maven. Give some name to Maven. What else? What is the name? Simply Maven. It's fine. Maven something. Just remember the name or Maven underscore tool. See, install automatically is there, and it's asking to which version to install. You can select it. It will download automatically from the website. But again, I'm telling you, don't install it. Give the Maven home path. What is the Maven home path? MVN hyphen version. You can figure it out. So this is the Maven home path. User share Maven, right? You can see Maven home. Give that. That's it. It's integrated. Once I save it, it's integrated. You can able to use this tool everywhere. Based on this name, we have to use it, not the path. Path is for Jenkins. Name is for you. Similar, we have tool something called Ant. You can able to do it. Of course, we don't use it. Now here we have something called SonarCube Scanner. This is also we need to integrate because Sonar we have integrated configure system in configure system with some integration, right? That is SonarCube server. SonarCube server. This one here is scanner because we need scanner also, right, to integrate. And how the hell we do it? Of course, with Maven, we can able to use maybe MVN Sonar colon Sonar, which we have seen. But let's use scanner also for some other projects, for some other languages. You have to integrate scanner also. So give some name, scanner or Sonar underscore scanner, something. Let's keep it Sonar underscore scanner. So again, see installing from center, Maven central repository. You can install it if you don't have, but don't do it. Give the Sonar home path. I think my Sonar home path is Sonar scanner bin. I'll give. Why? Because in the bin folder only Sonar executable file is there. That's how we execute, right? That's why I'm giving bin folder. So like that, you can integrate any tool. But all you have to do is first install the plugin. If you see there is no Nexus, right? Let's search. There is no Nexus. Why? Because there is no plugin installed. You have plugin installed, it will come here. We'll see that plugin also. Let's save it for now. So that's how you configure any integrations into Jenkins. Any integrations. Anything. Got it? Any to pick any tool. Let's say you don't know how to integrate it. Just Google it. It'll tell you what to do. All you have to do is first install the something called the plugins, which we will see now. And once the plugin is installed, you will get option to integrate. Integrate using how do you integrate? Use some name and the executable path. The executable path you have to give, and it will go to the executable path and execute it, and it will see, okay, this is the tool they want to use it, blah blah blah, like that. Got it? That's how we integrate any tool. Now let's go to plugins. What is plugins actually is? It's simple. They are nothing but a script which ends with hpi, hpi. It will do some task. Let's say if you install Git plugin, what it will do is it will do some task like checkout or raise a PR or push it, something like that, based on the functionality in the script. So what happens? I mean, why we need this plugin then is, as I told you, if you want, let's say integrate some tool because you want to do some task, correct? So let's say I want to build Maven, obviously, as I told you, but Jenkins does not know it by default how to build it or what to use to build. So that's why we install plugin. This plugin have functionality to do the task. Depends on what plugin you are using to do the task. So these are nothing but scripts actually. You can download by yourself from Google and you can upload it also. We'll see. But yeah, we can able to install from here. All you have to do is click on available plugins on the left side. Search for your plugin. Anything. Let's say Nexus. Don't have. Let's search for Nexus. There are lots of things. Correct. But I don't know which one to take. Let's install something. Even though we don't use it, let's install something. Maybe this one. What I don't know what is this, but yeah, let's see. Select whatever the plugin you want to install. Let's say SonarQube is already installed. That's why can't show you. So click on this plugin, whichever you want to install, and install. See, it will install for you. See, refresh. I think it's done already. It's failed for some reason. It's okay. We don't care it, but it's installed. The plugin is installed. Like that, you can install any plugin. Let's say what else? SSH server, some plugin is there, and select it, install it. Success. See, this was failed for some other reason. We don't have to worry. Like that, you can select any plugin, whichever you want, depends on your use case, and you can able to install it. Got it? Is it clear? Like if you go to install the plugins, you will see all of your plugins installed. What is the Sonar? See, Sonar is installed. Let's say Maven. Maven is installed. See, Maven integration plugin, the name. Nexus also is installed already. See, this is what we have installed. If you don't want it, there is a symbol uninstall into mark, or you can disable it if you don't want, or you can uninstall it directly, uninstall it. It will go. It's done. Updates, you'll see, I mean, of course, just like a Play Store updates, but don't do it up. Don't do updates unnecessarily. There will be lots of issues. Don't do it unless you confirm. So like that, you can install any plugin to get that functionality to Jenkins. Maybe in future I want to do something, some task. I'll install the plugin, and of course sorry, I can able to use that functionality. So like that, if you want to install, if you want to do some task, you gotta install that plugin. And of course, similarly, if you want to do integrate some tool, you have to install that plugin. Got it? Is it clear? The plugins. Let's say there is still more, but I'm trying to tell you like the idea is clear, the concept is clear. As I told you, Jenkins are nothing but HPA files, right? You can download it. Let's say there is a plugin, I don't have it. What else? What Nexus plugin? Something HPA plugin, something you can, or HPA file you can say. There will be a website actually. Let me show you. Jenkins plugins website, there will be separate website. See, plugins.io, search for plugins. What plugin you want? Search. So it will show you all the plugins available like this. Let's take anything. Let's take this one. Click on it. Oh, not for this one. Maybe this one. Something. I'm just trying to see. You will see documentation also like this, where you can able to see how to integrate also. Jenkins have official community where we can able to download, where we can able to use it to download it. How to install documentation also will be there. See, it telling you like this, and you can download like this. Releases, go to releases, you can download like this. Download link, click on direct link. It'll ask, it'll prompt, yeah, download it. See, let's go to desktop. See, .hpa file. Let's go to desktop. See .hpa. All you have to do is, now let's say, why you may ask like, why the hell we need to come to this website and download it? Why can't we just install in Jenkins? Because sometimes some plugins are not available in Jenkins by default. That's why we download like this and we upload it here. Or let's say you are a developer, you are a Java developer or something. You developed your own plugin, which we can able to do by yourself if you know the code and everything. You developed your own, plugin. You can use it also. You can upload it to Jenkins and you can able to use it, obviously. There's no limitation. As I told you, Jenkins is open source. You can use it, anything. Got it? So now, how do I upload, how do I install this plugin, whatever I downloaded in Jenkins? Click on advanced settings. They will be called deploy plugin. Choose your file. This is my file. Now open. Click on upload. Or you can give the URL also, like this URL. Directly download URL. You can paste it like this. It will download automatically and it will install it. That is also fine. Since we have downloaded it, I'm just deploying. See, this is what we downloaded. Pipeline Global Nexus lib. Pipeline Global Nexus lib Nexus. See, then it's installed. That's it. Now your plugin will be available in installed plugins. So that's what in the advanced settings is, that you can deploy the plugin. This and update site means this is the official website of plugins. Leave it. It will become by default because this is where it reads all the plugin net information. This is JSON file actually. You can search for it. So what happens? Sorry. See, this is JSON file. All the plugin information will be there here. So from it will it will come to here. See the URL, and it will go to the plugin URL and download the plugin, which is default. Leave it. Don't touch it. Deploy is where you deploy your own plugin. And download progress is, you'll see the installation progress here. Let's say I install some plugin. What else? Maybe this one. No, no, sorry. Available plugins. Sorry. Maybe command line something. Let's install this. What happens? It will take you download progress because it will show you whether it is pending installation or not. Download progress. You can directly click on it. It will come here. Got it? That's how manage plugins is there, because where you can able to sorry, download, install plugins based on your requirements or download plugins also from Jenkins official website. Got it? You can able to do any of that. And when you install a plugin, let's say you want to integrate some tool, when you install some plugin and you will see that in global tool configuration, you can integrate the tool. Yeah, that's how we do it. Is it clear about the plugins? Of course, all this mentioned in already in the document, which is fine, but yeah, Is it clear about the plugins? Hmm. Next thing, let's say maybe notes is separate topic as I told you. These are all separate topics. Appearance, nothing really. You just change your themes and everything, which is not really no one cares about it. And security is again a separate. Security and users are separate concept. It will take a day. We'll discuss. What else? Credentials. Credentials are important. These are all fine. You already seen a little bit. Come to credentials. Credentials, as I told you, where we add our credentials and we use it. See, let's click on one thing. These are all the things you'll see. See what happening here is, observe here, domain, scope, store, system, domain, global. What does it mean is these credentials are available to overall Jenkins in within the overall Jenkins. We can able to use them in anywhere. Because test to test is something which I added. I can delete it. Sonar is sonar token. GitHub is to check out our code which we have added. We can add anything. Simply just click on anything. System something. Global credentials. Or if you can add a new domain, like where we can able to what we can say, limit to some job credentials also we can able to do. These credentials, let's say if I click on global credentials, these three are available for overall Jenkins. But imagine I want to keep only for one job, you can also do that. But just for one job, we don't add credentials. We'll add for global. Of course, you'll see three things. You can add one more thing, but let's delete one thing first. Three are there. You want to update something or delete something, click on this symbol. See, you can update some password or whatever, change password, you can blah blah blah, whatever it is. You can see the password obviously. Or if you want to delete, delete. See, done. If you want to add, click on add. See, so many come, so many are there, right? All you have to select is what kind of things you are adding, what kind of credentials. If it is username and password, select username and password, give username, give password. ID and description is mandatory as I told you because this is by ID and only you will figure it out your credential. Let's say 100 people added their credentials. There means whatever the required things. But how do you find yours within that? You cannot find out unless we add some ID, unique ID, let's say anything. So that's why ID is important. So if you're adding a username and password, you have to select the kind, username and password, and add your details. Let's say you want to add SSS username and private key. Username and private key is ID, you have to give obviously description, SS username, what is SS, maybe something, Ubuntu or something. Private key, enter directly. You have to upload your private key. Of course, it will take it as a secret only, don't worry. This will use to connect to something, Linux server or something like that. You can able to use it. And if you have password for SSH key, you can give it here. Of course, if there is no password, ignore it. So what I'm trying to say is there are multiple types of credentials we can able to store. So username and password, SSH username and with private key. Secret file is you can upload a file. See, maybe within that file there are your passwords or something. You can upload a file. Jenkins will read it, and you can able to use it. That is also fine. Or secret text, like any kind of tokens we can able to give. Because secret text means there is one thing, right? So let's say sonar cube, just a token. Simply we can add it and we can able to use the token directly. In the secret field, you have to give. ID and description are common everywhere. Let's say a certificate. What certificate? Let's say SSL certificate for web HTTPS, right? We have HTTPS, I remember. For that, usually we need a certificate. Maybe in your organization they gave you certificate. You have to upload to Jenkins for some job. We'll be using it. So you have to upload it. I never did that because we don't keep certificates in Jenkins. We'll keep in somewhere a different thing. That's why we don't add here. But yeah, this type also available. This type also available. So where we can able to add multiple kinds of credentials and we can able to use it in jobs. How do I use it? Based on the ID. If you remember here, I gave the ID as GitHub and Sonar because by this I can able to figure it. Okay, GitHub means okay, okay it is used for Git checkout, so maybe that's why I might have added. And Sonar means okay for Sonar authentication I have added. So like that I can able to add the credentials and I can able to use it. Got it? That's what about credentials. We can able to add our I mean not no need to come here every time if you want to add credentials. In every job you can able to add it. So let's go to any job, test it, configure it. You can add credentials anywhere wherever you see credentials. I selected this one by default. You can add one more thing. Jenkins. See, it's the same thing it will come. Or you can go there to credential section and you can able to add it, which is completely fine. This is completely fine. Got it? So is that clear? Which is completely fine. Leave it up because I don't want to say this. That's what about system configuration, I mean global settings, tool integration as well as plugins and credentials. These two, as I told you, will be separate topics. These four, which we'll discuss tomorrow and after tomorrow. What else is there in Jenkins? Yeah, this is all we already seen basic, which is fine. We don't use it. Of course, go to server, go to Jenkins home path. What is Jenkins home path? Cd slash where lib Jenkins. Let's go to root user. This is where everything is stored. As I told you, let's go to jobs. See, as I told you, what I told, when you create a job, there will two things will be created. One thing is, in the jobs folder, there will be folder will be created based on your job name. Within that configuration will be there. Let's say test two, and of course, build information also will be there. And there will be something called workspace where the data will be stored in the workspace. In the jobs, there will be configuration stored. In the workspace, there will be data stored. Of course, in test 2, we don't have any data, so that's fine. So what generally we do is, we'll back up this folder where lib Jenkins. We'll copy this to some other server. How do you copy rsync or scp? Remember commands, sh commands that we'll do. So what we'll do is we'll copy this to some other server. Why? Backup, safety. Let's say the Jenkins server is down. It's completely down. We don't know why. We don't know when it will come back. What the hell you do? What the hell you do now? You cannot do anything until it comes up. But what if you have this backup somewhere else? You can run your Jenkins server over this, so all your data will be present. Like that. So always make sure that we'll back up this to some folder. Mostly we'll copy to different server only because what is the point of taking backup? You are storing the backup in the same machine. There is nothing, right? That's fine. We don't store the backup in same server. We'll store in different machines. How do I do it? Simple. Every day, sorry, we'll rsync the whole Jenkins. Where is the Jenkins directory? This one. We'll do rsync SC or SCP to different server. So it will store there just for backup purpose. Similar way, there is a configuration. So there is a plugin called Thin Backup plugin. Got available. Thin Backup plugin. Where is it? Thin Backup. See, it will backup. See, backup is the most important global and job configuration. So what happens is when you use Thin Backup plugin, it will take a backup, but it won't take the workspace backup. We have workspace, right? The workspace where it will have the job data, not the configuration, job data. So Thin Backup won't take that workspace backup. Thin Backup is only used for configuration, job configuration only, not for data. That's why we'll use like this. That's why we'll copy like this. SCP uh, using SCP2 pointing to different server like that. Got it? That's about Thin Backup. Got it? That's about backup. How you do backup? Simple. Someone asks like, hey, how do you do backup? Simple. There are two things. One is we'll copy the Jenkins home directory to different machine using SCP or rsync so that it will copy everything. Everything means what everything starting from configuration, users, workspace, see secrets if we have anything, plugins also it will copy, logs, jobs, what else is there? These are all the configurations. Every even Jenkins configuration, whatever present in the Jenkins server will be stored here by default. So if you copy this whole directory, which means it will copy everything, the whole Jenkins server, you're taking a backup. Got it? That's how we'll take this. Or you can go for thin backup also if you don't want the data. Thin backup will store only stores only take backups of configuration, not the data. Got it? That's how it works. That's how it will work. So that's how we take the backups. Got it? Copy the whole directory. Thin backup we have installed. It will come to somewhere. Go to manage Jenkins. See here any option is there. Thin backup. See, click on the thin backup. See backup now. Just click on it. That's it. No, nothing else. It will take the backup. Let's click on it. Oops. Some error is there because the new version of thin backup does not work. That's why no one depends on that. You know why? These kind of issues happens. That's why we take the backup manually. Of course, again, we don't log into server every day. We don't do SCP command like that. We'll create a job in Jenkins itself. Normal freestyle job, what we have created so far. We create the job itself and we copy it. Or we set up some cron job in Linux which will copy this. It will happen regularly without we don't need to manually do it. Got it, right? That's how it works. So hope you understand about the backup what we do. Still, we are also doing the same thing. We have a cron job we have set up, I think long back, not now. So which will do this RCP command, rsync command every day. I think in the evening one time, at the morning one time, the name will be like that. We'll just keep on copy to different server. Now, of course, we'll delete the old ones because old backups. It's a 1 month ago backup. Why we need it now? We don't need it, right? So we'll just keep 1 week backup only. Every day we'll take it, but just 1 week backup because we don't need 1 month old data as well as the size also will be too much. So the space will be too much occupied. The disk space will be occupied, right? I don't want that. That's why we'll close it. We'll clear it the old one. We'll store only 1 week's data in a cron job. I mean that script is running small shell script which we execute every day. That's it. That's the only thing. Got it? So that's how we take a backup as well as how to do it. And let's one small thing before today before closing. See, as I told you, default home path for Jenkins is where loop Jenkins, and default port is 8080. Can we change it? Of course, we can change it. We can change to any service, right? For Maven, we can change it. For Sonar, we can change it. Anything. For Nexus also, we can change it. But of course, we did not change it because let's use the default. But maybe some scenarios we might need to change it. How the hell we need to do it? Jenkins have configuration file. Of course, configuration file not for the Jenkins, for the Jenkins service which is running, Linux service. See, Jenkins running as a service, right? This is a Linux service, it's running as a Linux service. So for this service, there will be a configuration file. That file you have to do it. That file you have to install. That file you have to check it. What is the file is etc default Jenkins. See, if you open, you will see Jenkins service information. See what is the name of Jenkins, what is the Java arguments. Of course, Jenkins is developed in Java. And what is this Jenkins user Jenkins group? It means how to run uh, Jenkins as which user you want to run. By default, it will use Jenkins user only. If you want, you can change to root user, which is, but don't change it. Let it run as Jenkins user only, because we don't give full permissions to any third-party users. No, nothing. If this Jenkins wants access to something, we'll give only that access, not root access. Got it, right? We don't give like that. So by default, it will run as Jenkins user. Let it run. Why bother? And of course, if you see here, var lib Jenkins. Var lib Jenkins. This is where the default path is present. See Jenkins home. Dollar name is it's using trying to refer the variable which is Jenkins. Var lib Jenkins. That's what it is. If you want to change, you can change it. But make sure in the new, let's say I gave OPT Jenkins. Make sure the Jenkins folder exists in the OPT with all the data. If it is not, it won't load it. You'll corrupt it. So make sure you change it. Before changing it, make sure you have the data present in that path. Otherwise, of course, you can revert it back, which is completely fine. But yeah, just make sure do not corrupt it. Sometimes what happens, we have seen this one time. We changed the Jenkins home directory to something else. The data was not fully copied. So Jenkins got corrupted. It's not starting. So we reverted back the change. Still, it not started because it's already in the corrupted state. So you cannot do anything. You have to reinstall it. That's why make sure you copy clearly. Make sure you do it safely. And of course, there will be Jenkins port also somewhere. Let's see. These are all fine. This see port HTTP port 8080. If you want to change it to 8081, maybe you can change it 8089 something, whatever it is. 0 to 65,000, 65, 635 or 535 something. There is a port range 65, 535, I think, or 635. You can use any ports in that, but don't use port number 1, 2 like that. Use after 1000 because 1 to 1000 is reserved for servers. Sorry, let's say if you take SS port number 22, right? Less than 1000 only. This because these are used by server protocols by default. You cannot use it for third-party services. You cannot use it by your own. So always use port number after 1000 before 65,000. Of course, we have plenty of port numbers. We don't use all those things. But don't try to use port number 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. They will be using my machines, servers. If you want to change it, you can change it. I don't want to change it. Default, let's keep it 8080. But if you want to change it, save it, and restart. System set will restart Jenkins, which will update the change. Got it? That's what Jenkins config. etc default Jenkins. You got it right? Anything that's about today. So it's okay, it's fine for now today. Tomorrow we'll see how to send emails and every other things. I missed few things, right? Or what the hell is this notes? We'll see that tomorrow. It's a very small topic. We'll see that tomorrow. Don't worry. And so of course sending emails also. Got it? So that's about today. That's about configuration, global system configuration, tools configuration, and plugins, as well as credentials. And of course, small topics about how to take a backup, how we generally take a backup in Jenkins, as well as how to change the home directory if required. If required only, don't change it unnecessarily. If required. So yeah, these kind of things we've seen today. So yeah, any doubts before closing? Anything? Anything? If nothing, we can close. We can join tomorrow same time. If anything, just ping me. All right. All right. That's it then for today. Let's meet tomorrow same time. All right then. Bye. Bye all. Bye. Have a nice day.